Our Future Foundations project is about adapting these Victorian buildings for modern needs. And the main driving aim of this project can be summed up in 3 words: to make the buildings more flexible, to allow the buildings to be more accessible, and for both buildings to be more sustainable. The building, as you see it with its pews, was developed in the Victorian period. It's a very static model, and it's predominantly designed for one use, and that's Sunday worship, for an hour on Sunday worship. There's no allowance for children, there's no allowance for buggies, for wheelchairs. So we believe this building needs to be more flexible. Church buildings today need to be used for a variety of reasons. For instance, we need a place where we can meet to teach the faith, whether that's preparing children for communion, confirmation, or talking to parents about baptism. We need a nice teaching environment using videos so that we can meet and talk. We also need to meet as a church council. This is the place where we gather to do our governance, so not just for formal meetings as well as informal meetings, and we don't have those separate meeting rooms in this huge space. So by making the building more flexible, that's what we'll be able to do. If you can see, then here there's a door halfway up the wall, because there used to be a gallery in this church, a platform with seating up there, and one of the things we want to do is reinstate that gallery. And so in this area will be where the stairs are to go upstairs. There'll also be a lift over here. And then we'll have a kitchen over here, and improved toilets on this side. And this space will have a dual purpose. During normal worship services, this will be circulation space, a welcome area, and after worship where we can have tea and coffee and circulate with one another. And here there'll be glass partition doors. The thing about them is that they can be folded completely back. When we have big services, big funerals, Christmas, any other big events, these doors can be folded right back. The other work that we need to do is to work on this platform. This platform is very big, it's permanent, and there's obviously a step. And we want to do away with this platform so that this floor is all the same level.
Some of our congregation will tell you that there have been 30 or 40 years of talks going into this. And so quite a lot of people have felt it's never going to happen. But now it is going to happen, and it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be something that we leave our legacy for future generations. We make our mark on church history so that in 100 years' time, people who come to St Anne's will say, what a good job those people did. How wonderful it was that they had that vision to make the church sustainable, to make it environmentally friendly, to make it relevant for the 21st century.
The Future Foundations project also needs to look after what we currently have. That means looking after the heating, the lighting, the redecorating the walls. You'll notice that there are large areas of our walls are peeling. They were damaged by water ingress many years ago. We've now rectified that by spending a lot of money looking after our roof, and we will continue to do that. But it does mean that now that the water has stopped coming in, we can redecorate the interior, make it much more attractive as it should be, fitting for a place where we worship God.
are lots of reasons why we want to do this. We've got the church building itself, which is looking a bit sad and weary these days, that need lots of work to it. We want to get the heating sorted, we want to get it economically friendly, good for the environment. We want to welcome people to come to church, to come for the services we already do, to create new services for people to come to, and to use the space for other things as well, like singing or other concerts, and have the space much more versatile, that we can use it for much more than just our Sunday services. There's lots of ways that we can use the hall. We just all need to pull together to create an exciting space that we can all use for the future, and we just want somewhere that we can all look forward to coming and celebrate all the different aspects of life and being part of Sale community.
Welcome to our church hall. This, of course, wasn't built as a church hall, it was built as a school. So you can see the entrance is an old-fashioned door, and it goes into a toilet corridor, and it's quite dark. But we think we can do better here. Plus, we also recognise that we've got a school next door, and a lot of parents come here, congregate here to pick up their children or drop them off and chat to one another. And again, we think if we could provide a community cafe here, then people can do that mixing and chatting over a coffee, not getting wet. There are about 800 people a week going through our hall doors, but because they just come for a particular function, we don't have that opportunity to meet with them, to tell them what we're doing here in the church, to listen to their views. But we feel that we can, by making the buildings more accessible with the cafe, that we will have that opportunity to listen and talk and meet in an informal way. Another thing we want to do with this project is to take away these windows and transform them into doors, patio doors. People will then have access from indoors, spilling out into the lawn for events and parties, daytime, evening, because we've realised how valuable it is to have access to the outdoors.
Two very different buildings. In the church, to make the sort of changes we're looking there, it's very much all or nothing in terms of making that major interventions, dealing with the heating systems, dealing with the levels in the building and so on. With the church hall though, there are other options. It could be done in different phases because there's elements being added. Refurbishment obviously would be the first step, but you could look at doing it in stages if needs must.
We are making this investment so that we are here for the future. We are a not-for-profit charity. We all know that the future looks costly with increased energy prices and the imperative to go green. The Future Foundations project acknowledges the need to adapt to survive.
It's great to be here at St Anne's Sale as we launch this Future Buildings appeal. What we're trying to do is raise £1 million in order to renovate both the church and the church hall. Not because buildings matter, although they matter a bit, but because people matter and community matters. And having great facilities actually enables us to serve the community in all sorts of ways, many of which we're already doing, of course, in part, but all sorts of other ways emerge. And we find this across the diocese and across the whole church as we invest in excellent buildings. So we see all sorts of community projects emerge. So I'd say to anyone who's actually passing by or looking on, why not get involved in what we're doing in community, and if you're able to be part of this appeal, that would be fantastic.
The Future Foundations project is a big project. It's an expensive project across the site, looking after both our Victorian buildings. And I appreciate that's daunting. It is a massive challenge. And I'm sure together, with everyone's support, we can make this investment in these buildings of benefit to generations to come. Thank you for your support.